Okay. So, Mr. Balzer, I do not know much about the Vietnam War. Could you tell me what it is about and the background of it?
The Vietnam War, wow. Well, it started out as like a consulting thing. We sent some people over there to help the local army manage their own problem with the so-called communists. So it kind of escalated to where we got involved with troops. I don't remember all the year details, but it started, in the early 60s and ended in the early 70s sometimes. There was a wide range of involvement during that time. I was in the Navy from 63 to 67, and I was in Vietnam in 66.
What did you do in the war?
Well, I was in the Navy, and I was an air crewman in a squadron that flew off an aircraft carrier. And we actually were deployed off the coast of North Vietnam. We flew into North Vietnam.
What made you want to join the war?
I didn't join the war. I joined the Navy right out of high school. I didn't want to go to college, so I went straight in the Navy out of high school, 4 years. I didn't even know there was a war. Sounds weird, but there wasn't a war then. It was very low-level action, escalated.
Are you still in contact with any soldiers that you were in the war with?
Yeah, a few of them.
Yeah.
They were sailors. And I knew some soldiers too that I went to school with that were going in the Army at the same time, going in the Navy.
So you went in with some friends?
I didn't go in with them. I mean, you said soldiers. I had friends that were soldiers, but I wasn't in the Navy.
Right. Do you have any stories or memories that you remember that you could share? Anything you remember?
Well, my time in the Navy wasn't all in Vietnam, so we're talking about an eight-month period, 4 years. You don't spend 4 years in Vietnam unless you really wanted to. So basically, I did a lot of flying before I went to Vietnam as a crewman. I was a radar operator and operated other equipment. And it was towards the last 2 years of my time in the Navy that I got deployed to Vietnam on an aircraft carrier. So when I joined, I had no idea I was going to Vietnam. Now, there was still a draft at that time. So if you did not join some other service, you got drafted into the Army.
Right.
So I chose the Navy instead of getting drafted.
And for the Navy, did you work with people in the Army, or did you fly people in the Army to Vietnam? Is that what you did?
No. We did reconnaissance and armed reconnaissance. It didn't have anything to do with the Army.
Oh, all right.
See some pictures? There's the ship.
That's the ship?
Yeah.
Do you have a name?
USS Kearsarge. That picture was taken 5 July '66. I was on it when it was taken. And there are some pictures of me.
That's you?
This guy's not me, but all the rest of them are. That's me.
That's awesome. Were you as tall as Chris was?
I was as tall as I am now.
So did you ever like land on Vietnam, or what exactly did you do in the airplanes? Like I don't quite understand.
Well, our mission was to do reconnaissance in North Vietnam, so I went into North Vietnam 36 times. Now, the way that Vietnam worked was there was a thing called the DMZ, which was like a dividing line between North and South Vietnam. All the soldiers were in the South.
Alright.
Okay. The only ones that went into the North was the Air Force and the Navy, and the Marine pilots, but we bombed the crap out of them. Flew in there for reconnaissance and checked out what ships were delivering supplies to them. But all the hand-to-hand combat was done in the South,
Right.
below the DMZ. If a pilot got shot down, we went out and helped look for him and things like that.
Right. When you were there, or when you were on the aircraft, and did you still still get to be like in contact with your family and friends like back home?
Only by letters.
By letters.
That's the only way. There was no phone connection, there was no email, no internet. Just send a letter.
Did you ever almost get shot down, or like anything frightening like that ever happen to you?
Well, almost getting shot down. We had detection equipment on the plane that told us if someone was shining a radar at us. And the radars have different signatures. And when you detect a certain pattern, it means it's a radar that controls a missile. And yeah, we had them like trying to get us here.
That's scary.
We never got shot down.
When you got there, when you were like practicing to be a pilot, when you got there, was
I wasn't a pilot, I was a crewman.
Crewman? Was it what you expected it to be?
It was an adventure. I was 21 years old. 18 to 21. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Go for it. What was I going to say? I'll think of it. Go ahead. I'll tell you the thing that got me. I signed up as an electronic technician. I passed the test and said I want to work in electronics. When I was in electronics school, this was in the first year I was in the Navy, they came around and asked, does anybody want to do electronics with aircraft and be a flight crewman? Because I made no money, and pay was almost nothing. If you became an air crewman, you got $65 more a month. I said, heck yes. So my job, when I wasn't, we weren't flying.
You were just.
I worked on aircraft electronics. So I had an alternate job. Whenever I got scheduled to fly, when we were in Vietnam, we went out there for 30 days at a time. And we would fly every day. 6 hours out there, 24 hours.
Yeah, it's like how much was the like stuff?
The carrier. Never planes would take off and leave us. We were covering 24 hours a day. It took 4 shifts.
4 shifts.
To cover 24 hours.
So, like, could you describe what it was like over in Vietnam, like in Korea? It was hot.
It was hot, 24/7, hot, rain sometimes.
The places you were bombing were like, was it like forest areas or like cities or?
It wasn't like just bombing cities. It was like trying to blow up bridges and transportation routes. This is just kind of a side story. We didn't have nothing to do with the Navy SEALs, but what the Navy SEAls would do was they would sneak up the coast at night, and we would fly around out there and watch that there were no other boats coming towards that. In other words, we were high and we could see with the radar if somebody had detected their boat and was like coming on. So we would just watch the sign. And what the SEALs would do is they would go up and they'd drop them off at the mouth of the river, just leave them there. And they would work their way up this river. There were rafts and whatever they did. And they would put explosive charges on the bridge, and then at some predetermined time, planes would fly over and drop some bombs in the area, and they would blow the bridge up. We would miss our